Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right. Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to say is brought to you by Dispose LLC. This garbage company can do great things for you. All you have to do is give them a chance. How you can do that? It's easy. Go to my website. You'll be able to see the great things we be doing. Of course, I advertise all the time. But don't go by the advertisement. Call us up and find out what I can do for you.
Absolutely.
Customer service is one of the things that I make sure I do for you.
Absolutely.
So, now I got to get back to this man that was not here for me last week. Left me with Buddha, but he's back. Craftmatic, how you doing, big baby?
I am superb this week, man.
I bet
superb.
you is.
Yeah, I'm superb.
We're going
this
to
week.
talk about that little break you have. Hot now.
Yeah, that was a
The
great
world
break.
wants
That was
to
a great
know.
break. So I'm doing great, man. I'm doing
Fabulous.
great. Life is good and driving forward. Well, how you doing, Smooth J?
I was doing good till you left me here with Buddha in the building last week.
I'm so sorry I left you with Boo.
I was
last
sorry too. The world is sorry now. But we did it.
week. Yeah, you did. You
It was
did.
on- it was
And
on
listen,
Google.
it was apparent
Mhm.
in the first 1 minute of the show, by the way, just so that you know. Because you introduced yourself and you look back and you was like, damn, Kraft usually have a little zest about it. Buddha's like, oh, that ain't
It
me.
be,
man."
yeah. You're like,
I'm not going to be like that.
yeah, I'm like,
There it
why I
goes.
bring him?
There it goes,
Why?
right there.
Why? He didn't bring no fire, no nothing.
There you go.
But he
Let
did.
us properly introduce ourselves. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My
Yes,
name is
sir.
Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth J. And we are here to simply liberate your mind, your soul, with inspirational dialogue.
Yes.
We're hoping that this is an opportunity for you to kind of see yourself in the mirror and make some decisions about how you're going to handle life. We have a very interesting topic tonight, and I want to make sure that you folks know that we're not a quick fix show. This is not, 5 or 6 minutes. We want you to hang in there with us because we talk for 2 hours, and this is some of the most fantastic dialogue that you have ever heard. And so be inspired, and we're certainly grateful for you being here with us tonight. We always start the show off with a prayer. I didn't know if you wanted to.
No, man, I had to do it while you was gone. You know, Buddha don't want to pray over nothing.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead, man. Bless them.
Okay.
With your anointing.
Yeah, and I'm in the I'm hearing in the speakers
Which-
the hoarseness in my voice. I lost my voice a little bit for a couple of days, so
Mm.
you folks bear with me a
What
little bit.
would you do?
Yeah. Just
Oh.
just having a good time.
Holly. Holly.
You always want to start something, not before the
Yes.
prayer, man. Not before the prayer.
The good Lord, no. He was still with you.
Give me a one-word topic, man.
One word topic. Because of all what we got going on, give them more understanding.
Understanding. Okay.
I want them to get some understanding.
Okay. Let's do understanding. Heavenly Father, we bring this show to you right now, thanking you for the opportunity to be here tonight, again tonight. And we just hope that you would fill this room with inspiration and understanding on tonight's topic, Heavenly Father. We are always here to better ourselves and to improve our lives. And we just ask that you would inspire us on high tonight. Do something special, anoint in our mind and our thinking and our understanding and our wisdom and our expectations of great things to come in this life. We ask all this in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
Yes.
Amen. Man, that felt a little different right there. I don't
This
know,
took
man.
so
Something
much
about it
out of
felt
me.
different than normal prayer, but
I like it.
it was good.
I like
Yeah, I felt it.
That's
I
what-
felt it. Listen, that's all we really need. We
need
run
prayer.
chasing for things and stuff in life.
Mhm.
We are always reaching for this, that, and the other.
Right.
But all we ever really, really want, and all we ever really need is understanding.
That's so true.
Understanding changes the whole game. And understanding is really spiritual. Because once you get understanding, it like opens doorways.
Yes, it does.
Once you understand what happened in your past, doesn't that relieve the stress?
All day.
Understanding makes a big difference in our lives. And the greatest understanding is to know who you are and to understand your place and your role in this life.
I agree.
Because if you don't understand those things, then you're spinning your wheels,
I've done that.
right? And people who are spinning their wheels, they call them drifters.
I call them
They're
stuck.
just drifting wherever life takes them. But we got to stand up and really begin to understand what this thing is we call life. So many of us have great talents and gifts, and we're just not putting them forward.
Not at all.
And when you get some understanding, you'll begin to find your purpose in life. And that's what your life should mean to you, what your purpose is. If you don't have it or you haven't found it, you really are truly drifting. So something to think about for our audience tonight. Let's go ahead and cover last week's topic. And I'm going to have to turn this one over to my boy Jay, because they rocked the house last week.
We had some understanding.
Okay. You had some understanding.
We did. Good topic. Dating old school versus new school. And one of the things I can tell you is, and give you the short narrative, and I use me as example. When I was dating early on, I might have sent a letter around the room to one person, and she wrote yes or no.
Okay.
Now, in today's time, you have an app that I can get multiple people saying yes to me. And I went back to say, back then, I had to do more courting. I had to pursue her. I had to go out and go to clubs where I had to go to a table of 4 girls, and I had to pick the one that I was hoping was liking me like I was liking her, eyeballing her, trying to see if we can get some kind of contact on. So when I walk over there, I have a quick approach if I can get her away. All right? So I had to build my confidence up. There's a lot of things that went along with that. And then again, you got rejected a lot of times. And you already knew not to run to the next table like Buddha told me. Buddha said, you just go to the next table. Well, them 4 girls gonna turn on you. So while you go to that next table, they'll probably be following you, okay? That's just how that went. So it built you up in a different kind of way compared to now where, and I'm not saying it's just so much easier, because no matter how somebody might like me, I don't have to like you. So don't think just because you sent me a quick, I like you, it changed my life and made me happy because I seen a picture.
Right.
There's more to me than what you seen of me anyway. Any picture ain't gonna describe me until you get with me.
Okay.
Probably why I send people to Grady. I'm just saying my Carfax kind of jacked up. You know what I'm saying? You might watch over here, watch over here.
By the way, for y'all folks who didn't know, when I watched the show, I didn't know what Grady was.
You didn't? You know Grady?
I know what Grady was, but
Oh, okay.
audience wouldn't know
Grady.
Grady.
Y'all ain't know Grady? This is where you go if you have trauma. If
That's
you have
a hospital.
the number 1 trauma center in the world right here, Grady got it. And if you're a Grady baby, I'm sending you where you was born. I ain't lying. You
So my
fool with
boy
me.
Jay is suggesting that he love him down so well that he sent him to the hospital.
Come on now.
Huh?
Hey, hey.
We gotta make it plain
If
for our
they ain't
audience,
going there,
you know?
they going to church, they going somewhere. Because it's going to be some serious things. It's going to
You
sit
should
down.
stop it.
I'm just saying, but before we go there, and before somebody think it's just the hype, because again, all you got to do is ask somebody. Jay just saying, dating was just a little bit different for me then compared to now, but I'm not saying now made it that much easier. It's one of the things that's up to you. So if I believe in being a headhunter, I'm going to still pursue. So if somebody pursue me, it ain't going to throw me off. It's just something I probably won't even care for.
Would you say that, this is an interesting question just for you,
Yeah.
would you say that dating is easier or you just have more confidence?
I just have more confidence. I don't think it's really that much easier. I mean, the apps can make it somewhat, but being honest with you, I like that communication, and it's more of a mental game with me.
Okay.
So if it's just for the physical, yeah, I say it could be a lot easier because I can see more people all over the place compared to me being in a classroom, seeing just the class people or people in my school.
Right.
I'm able to see people all around the world.
Right.
So you can get likes all over the place, and you can like somebody that you probably can never even see. Could be from another country.
Yeah.
Not to say that y'all can't have that kind of relationship. I don't do long distance like that. That's just too far for me. But each his own. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not knocking nothing.
Excuse me. What I really like about this conversation is that you have adopted the new way of dating.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people who are fence riding or who won't even consider crossing that fence
Why?
because they're afraid of people online. And listen, there have been a lot of bad experiences that happen, especially early in the game, right?
Bro, it's been a bad experience when I met him.
I know, but these people aren't moving as fast as you and I are moving. You know what I'm saying?
they need to slow that down then.
I mean, if you go to, regular America, regular America might consider the internet dating world just a little hairy, right? I just something, you meet a bunch of knuckleheads, and that's their mentality about it. That's not the truth, but that's just how they think about it. So they haven't crossed that fence, and they're still doing a lot of old school dating, a lot of, regular courtship. I meet you somewhere in at church or at work or whatever, and we get to know each other, and that's all they know. They don't know that they don't know about the lifestyle of and that's the difference between the old and the new. They don't know about the lifestyle that, hey, I can meet 10 people tonight and gonna be out dating tomorrow. Because they knew if they could come into the world a little bit more, especially with technology, they'd probably be able to figure that out,
But I will tell you, some of their fears is true. One of the things I'll tell you again, don't get interested in somebody liking you in a picture. It happens all the time. You can see a picture and you really like the picture. I understand you don't know the person. And I like to say a lot of times when I see somebody might talk to me or ask me about the show or inbox me or whatever, I look at the picture, but I don't get into it. I don't even know if that's that person or not. And that's what happens because a lot of people dated online and the person ain't who they say they are, from catfish or not them at all. Could be a guy pretending to be a girl, just posted a picture and then responded. One of the things I can tell you is easy is I'm not quick to meet you anyway. So if I talk to you, we're going to be talking for a while. Normally, if a person trying to run a scam, they ain't trying to stick around that long. If they talk to you for a short time and ask you for money or ask you for something that's a little bit unusual up front, then you already kind of know what it is.
Right.
And like I said, I'm willing to say it because, again, you getting taken advantage of because you looking thirsty or you acting thirsty.
Yeah.
If you asking to meet somebody and calling a baby off the rip, you ain't never even met them, then they probably playing off of your own words. So that's why I tell people again, if you're going to date online, slow that down.
You're saying there's a lot of game going on.
Oh, right, no, I wouldn't be.
And that makes them, again, we're talking about a lot of people don't know. Don't know that, hey, there is a lot of game being run online.
Man, they ask you quickly.
Yeah.
My kids need some food. You don't even know me, but you want some money from me.
Yeah, I think I heard Rick Ross say something like he bought a car for a chick off Facebook. In one of his songs. Right? So a lot is going on there.
Hey, that's a lot.
But again, a huge difference between the old school and new school that, the old school would pretty much judge a book by its cover. You got nice pictures up there, you look like you kind, sweet, neat, etc., etc. Then I open the doorway, give you my number, or start, communicating back and forth. But you really got to look beneath the surface in that new world of technology because, like I said, there's a lot of game going on.
It's a lot of game.
And, man, especially with pictures. I mean, there are a lot of pictures out there that aren't real. They're old pictures.
There's a couple things
you
I'll
don't know
tell
who
you.
you're getting.
You don't. But if they give you a app for you to text them, they can't give you their number. They give you an app. They give you these Google numbers and stuff. They've been out there before.
And WhatsApp app.
Because they're always going to tell you, oh, well, I don't know you. I'm not for sure. If you ain't for sure, then keep whatever we was on. Stay on it.
Right.
Why in the world you got to put me to something else? Or go over here. Go to Snapchat Premium. You got all these things you want. I ain't got time for all that. If I'm trying to get to know you, I need your real number before I can deal with you. But if you got me going all places like that, I'm going to make it real short and sweet. Game recognized game. I ain't following nobody nowhere I don't know. Makes no sense. That's why I said a lot of times, if you back up, either they'll stop and they'll move on because game recognized game quickly. And I'm willing to give it up a little bit because I'm tired of people playing on people and making this more difficult than it need to be. If we be more real, you will understand somebody's trueness compared to this fakeness. Everybody just want a quick come up, and they want to do it off of somebody else. Yeah. But for everybody you hurt, somebody else got to deal with it.
There you go.
That don't make no damn sense.
And that caused a lot of people not to get online.
Why wouldn't it?
So.
That person scoring me for no good reason. So now I'm kind of bitter towards other people, and that's not right. There's that person that did me wrong, and the whole thing is I gotta let that go.
Yeah, and you folks, we could go on and on. Yeah, it was a great show. We'd love for you to check it out. It's all over the internet. Bar Talk with Jay, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Where we at, Jay?
Yeah, meet me, OfferUp, POF, wherever you want to be. Create this. And one of the things we try to say is all these other places is just find us, because all you got to do is put us in a search engine. Oh, you will get us. That's right.
Yeah.
But you other ones that's really nasty, I'm out there too. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Y'all please excuse my cough tonight. I'm
you ain't got that coronavirus.
I'm recovering.
You know you was out of town.
Yeah, but I wasn't international.
You weren't in? Okay. But when
Not
the people
saying
you was
that
with,
makes a difference.
Hey, I'm about to tell you, but what about the people you was with?
Yeah. I think I was in a pretty safe environment, so I'm
okay.
good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So plus the doctor already took care of that. You know what I'm saying? I already done seen medical attention. I'm just working on healing myself up.
It just made me feel a little better.
The doc said, "Well, what happened?" I said, "Well, doc, I drank too much."
That's a good one right there. I had that sitting.
I said, I'm probably a little dehydrated. Just help me out a little bit. He said, well, I'll take care of you, son. So let's go ahead and cover our quote for the week. For tonight, it is another fabulous quote put together by Miss Barr. And it goes like this. Find strength when you are weak and courage when you are scared. Because some days we will just have to push ourselves from wherever we can and be brave enough to do it by having hope when it seems like there's no hope.
Wow. That's deep.
I love it.
Real deep.
I love it.
Made me
And-
rethink some things.
Well, it absolutely does. But,
Alrighty.
you know, what she's really talking about here
What's
is it's that energy, that power that that we have to push forward in life,
Mhm.
right? That sometimes you just have to fight through
Say it
these troubles.
Yes.
Sometimes you just have to gird yourself up with strength and just try to knock the wall down, right? And because life will sometimes put you in a situation, it'll put you in a mindset that seems to be suppressing you. It almost will feel like there's no choices, there's not enough money, there's not enough time, I don't have enough knowledge or resources, I seem so without, right? But you gotta gird up strength from within yourself, and you gotta keep fighting the good fight. And you can never stop fighting. And that's the point here. Find strength when you are weak and courage when you are scared. You gotta fight. And life is one good fight. There are many battles to quote unquote the war. We have to find a way to begin to understand that life continues to put challenges in front of us. You see, we're not going to be strong until we know that the challenge is before us, and when it arrives, it doesn't change who we are. It doesn't cause us to run fearful. It doesn't cause us to sit still, and it doesn't create paralysis in our actions, right? We know the struggle is coming, but when it comes, I'm going to fight. I'm just going to keep fighting no matter what happens. I'm just going to keep fighting. You got to have that spirit just to live life, right? You got to have that spirit just to live life. Because those of you who are waiting for life to settle down, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's a sad reality, but it really lends itself to the purpose of life. Life isn't about sitting back, lounging on the laurels, sitting on the sidelines. Life is about being in the game and making something happen. And if you're sitting on the sidelines, you're never going anywhere. And if you get in a fight, the troubles aren't going to end, but perhaps you'll achieve greater and greater success. You'll achieve greater and greater freedom, greater and greater peace, greater and greater wisdom, greater and greater prosperity. You see, every time you fight through a fight, there's something to be had on the other side.
That's so right.
Right? So you gird up strength, fight the fight, knowing that on the other side, the promised land is that I'm going to be better off than I ever was before.
Oh, I got something for that one.
Man, I tell you what.
When I tell you that, and I listen to that,
That's
and I
awesome.
hear fight you fight, a lot of times you're fighting yourself. And there's been a lot of times when I'm out there and I'm right there on the verge of a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Well, you
Right
so
on the verge.
up on it,
Yeah.
you don't have the momentum to push through.
Yeah.
You're scared to go back. You feel like you went too far, but what you just don't understand, going back gives you the momentum to get through.
Yeah.
And we right there. All
Right
you got to
there.
do is just step back
Right.
and get it going.
Right.
And that momentum will take you through
Right.
what you thought you couldn't get through.
Right.
You just had to get back. You was just right up on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's what happens. You get right up on it, and then you ain't really seeing it.
Yeah.
And you can't even see what's blocking you.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell everybody, reevaluate, you got to step back. And when everybody's scared to do it, I'm just telling you, I enhance you,
Yeah.
I encourage you
Yeah.
to go back to looking at things that goes on.
You know what?
And break
You know what, Jay? We got to go to break. But
Go
just
ahead.
one quick point.
What's that?
That's why we got to learn spiritual warfare.
Okay.
Because when we fighting, we got to ask the Spirit for breakthroughs.
All right.
You know what I mean? We got to find breakthroughs in our life. Spiritual breakthroughs will take us to our promised land. Let's go ahead and take our first break. Let's go ahead and cover tonight's subject before we do.
Okay.
And the question goes like this. What do you do when one woman has your heart and the other has your back?
Run. We're going to run and we're going to be right back. Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay, and guess what? We got Buddha in the building.
What's up, Buddha?
What up, Crab Man?
How
What
you
up?
doing, man?
Yeah,
Slow motion.
we are doing-
I appreciate you filling in the seat last week, man. You stood in strong. I appreciate that, man.
It ain't no problem. That's what we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you know, it was all for Jay, but
Yeah, he came for lack of energy. That's what I'm saying. He came kind of dry last week.
he came dry.
But it's time for you to make it up today.
Seriously?
Yeah, you can't
He
got dry.
called you dry, bro.
You can't dry.
I'll drop.
You was kind of dry. I mean, you got better, but you start off like with chapstick, bro. You
Hey,
just
hey,
broke it up.
you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, but you started
You've
real
been in
slow.
the game for a while, man.
You got to start somewhere.
I
You've been in the game for a
I
while,
like
man.
the
You
beaver
on
bros.
regularly, bro.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
that?
it's fine.
You got to start somewhere.
Okay. So you woke up today?
No, I'm still.
Yeah, okay, you still slow.
Yes, it was
3 minute man.
Hey,
Oh Lord,
hey, that's my specialty.
3 minute man.
Not speciality, but
Yeah,
speciality.
You know, I think you
That's
like
why
people
I'm
to make fun of you. I think you're one of those kids that when people make fun of you, that's
You
soothing
make
to
him
your
grow.
spirit.
Yeah, you make him grow. Like Pinocchio. I'm trying to tell you.
potential.
I tried to figure out why a man would want to tell the world that he 3 minutes. I said, well, for attention.
I
For
mean,
attention, right?
bro, I mean, as proud as he is, hell, I got to believe him.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Hey.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I want to say a few things. You know, last time I said something, I ain't gonna say that this time.
Okay, I don't
Alright?
care.
So
Speak your truth. Speak your mind. Speak your truth.
we're gonna go ahead and jump in tonight's topic, and I think it is time that we do so. Topic goes like this tonight.
What we got?
What do you do when one woman has your heart
Mhm.
and the other has your back?
All right, we're going to pass that to Phil.
Oh no! Before let me just chime in a little bit. You know,
Okay,
I
you
really
get
don't
your
know.
turn.
I don't really know where this one's going to go tonight. Everybody's going to get an opportunity, right? But I just
Okay.
want to set this up, right?
Set it up.
Set it up so I
Because
can knock it out the park.
the question suggests that you have two women
That's what it
in
sound
your
like.
life.
That's what it sounds like to me.
And see now, you know, in my world, that's kind of a problem already. You know, not necessarily a problem, but you know, that's the lifestyle you live in. You know,
Right.
perhaps. But the woman who has your heart, I would assume, in many of these cases, is your wife, or you know, the man who has your heart is your husband, right? But the other one has your, or maybe the, you know, I don't know. I'm glad I think about it. The other one has your back. Well, your wife has your back, but the side chick has your heart. Is that how it goes? Maybe I'm missing the mark here.
You speaking on a marriage level? Or you just talking about in general?
Okay, well, listen. See, that's why I wanted to have this
Okay, because I just
pre-talk.
want to know.
That's why I wanted to have this pre-talk, because we're gonna have to dissect this subject into the single man and single woman's world,
Mhm.
and in the couples and married people's world.
Okay.
I think, don't you think
Let's
that's?
do single first.
We're gonna do single first.
We'll do single first.
Okay.
Okay.
So you single and you got a girlfriend, or some
Okay.
you're not maybe even not a girlfriend, just somebody who has your heart.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe and so you love this person. That ain't your lady or whatever. Could be your girlfriend, maybe your fiance.
But just because a woman has your heart doesn't mean you have to love them or you have to be in love with them.
Okay, I like that. That's possible, right?
Man, he cold hearted as hell. What you talking?
I'm just saying. Okay,
Let me tell you what I heard. What I heard.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I heard.
All right.
What I heard is that there are a lot of women who we have experienced in our lives who could call us from our past and be like, "Hey, I'm hurting. I'm in dire need. I need something. Can you help me out? Can you hook me up? Can you go do this for me, that for me?"
Exactly.
And we'd be on the case. They have our heart, right? That's have our heart. Yeah, and I don't have to be in love with her for her to have my heart. She's got a piece of my heart, and I'm not necessarily in love with her, but she's already in, like family. You
Yeah,
know, an
exactly.
ex-wife is a family, like a family member. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That's what I heard.
I told you he cold hearted though. You got other things. Let him finish.
Yeah, it seemed like the trouble I'm having with this dialogue thus far. I want to hear from you. The trouble I'm having with this is that shouldn't a woman who have your heart also have your back?
That's not
All
necessarily.
right.
the
Shouldn't a
case.
woman who have your back also have your heart?
In a perfect
You
world,
would
yes.
think that
But we
way.
live in an imperfect world.
Right.
Okay, keep
So it
talking.
don't work that
So,
way.
you know, for me, if she can handle 3 minutes, she got my back. I'm okay with that. She ain't gotta have my heart. I would much rather have a woman that has my back than have my heart.
Oh, now we dissect it like that. Okay.
Of course.
You'd rather have a woman have your back rather than your heart. That makes
Exactly.
sense. That makes sense. I never
What?
thought about it quite like that.
Remember,
Um,
I said when you was missing, he likes to be pushed, not pulled.
So-
if she got his heart, she pulling him.
So
She got his back, she got to be pushing.
So watch this.
Hey,
Watch
hey,
this.
hey,
Watch this.
Hey,
hold on. So,
divulging too much information.
My bad.
I'm losing my train of thought, man. That was good. That was good where I was going. So what you're suggesting is that if you had a boo, you'd rather have kind of like a little ride or die chick, somebody always in your
Exactly.
corner, rather than somebody you love.
Why not?
How do you feel about that, Jay? I'm not sure.
I'm like, I'm not as cold-hearted as him.
So you'd rather have somebody you love rather than somebody who got your back strong?
I would rather have somebody that loves me than just have my back. Because my whole thing is I got me.
No.
How you gonna tell me about
Because
me?
you switching it now.
No. That's his preference. That's his preference.
No, because you switching it.
That's my
You-
job.
See, this is
Hold on,
from
hold
a male's perspective. Now you trying to switch it and flip flop it and make it from a female's perspective.
Yes.
No. That's not what we doing right now.
Okay.
What,
You know,
what
you
we
being
are
dirty.
doing
Hold on,
is
hold on.
speaking from
A
our
man-
perspective.
Okay. You want to
Because you're saying what
you're
you're saying is, hey, I would much rather the woman have my heart. No, you want her to have your heart. You didn't say she had yours.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm just
deep.
saying.
You really snitching.
You
Hold on.
But
hold on.
you-
no,
don't lose the train of thought. Don't lose the train of thought.
Oh, ain't no chain of thought.
Oh,
I'm
my
about to
bad.
choke.
Respond to
Sorry.
that, Jay. Respond to that.
If you
Sorry.
don't respond, he dirty as hell. and he
Sorry.
is right.
That's just what I heard you
I was
say.
Come on,
flipping it.
man. Come on.
I was flipping it, and he is correct. Again, I will
I
want her. But what he's saying from a man point of view, as a lot of times we do, we want them to have our back more so than the heart because it will make you lead. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we want to go in our directions. If a person got your back, they're pushing you. They got you and they're behind you. But a lot of times when they really got your heart,
They can manipulate
my
you.
goodness, they are pulling you. Because again, at that point,
Pulling you. Okay.
it changed direction of where things are going. So again, he has a great valid point, and it ain't for everybody. But again, being in a single person's world, it is nice to have somebody to have your back. Somebody that actually has your heart can actually be leading you when you normally are leading them.
So somebody having your heart creates vulnerability.
Yes, it can.
That's pretty powerful. Yeah, and yeah, it absolutely does. And you said pulling at you. I don't know. It's almost like you might be afraid.
Not just afraid. Just understand she has that. She's in your heart.
She's able to manipulate you, perhaps.
Well, hopefully it's a good manipulation.
Hopefully.
You know, but again,
Hopefully.
when I'm trying to go somewhere and she's pulling you, she has an effect. A person has your back, is pushing. It's a different kind. I'm still steering.
I
I'm
see
still
what you mean,
going.
pushing, pulling.
So I am that person that's still leading, okay? And she got me. So I ain't worried about nobody coming up behind me.
Right.
She's already have me. But if a person got your heart, it's really, your back is vulnerable because she pulling you. So you ain't even looking back as you being pulled.
exposed.
So when you get that kind of exposure, you feel kind of like vulnerable. You feeling a little different than you were before because before you was covered. And a lot of times when you're in love, you don't feel covered.
But see, I like what you said before. The very first thing you said was, I'd rather have somebody, have my heart because I got my back. Like, I'm not even concerned about having back. But I think what we're all probably getting to in this conversation is what we're concerned about is we'd much rather have a team player than somebody we love or in love with. Right? We'd much rather have a ride or die friend than be vulnerable in love to somebody who just might hurt us or just might do us wrong. Is that what I hear us saying?
Him more than me.
You gonna put me out there on
now-
the block? Did you stop?
Listen, here's what.
You started snitching first.
Hold on, fellas. Here's what happens in that equation. When I start choosing somebody who has my back over somebody I love, that means I'm going to live my life with somebody, perhaps, talking about relationships and couples. I'm now going to live my life with somebody who just has my back. And I know, I'm just reflecting on probably a lot of women who have chosen that path with men. Men who have prosperity, they be like, I don't really love this man, but I'm going to go ahead and stick in there because he can provide everything I need. He can have a great life. And so I know it has been happening for, all the years of mankind, that women have been making the choice that I'd rather have somebody have my back than somebody I'm in love with. It'd be great to have somebody I'm in love with who could have my back too, but what you give up, what you give up, and I think is the most important part of this equation. What you give up is love. You give up at that moment, if you're going to spend your life based on kind of the material world, you give up the opportunity to have real love.
I disagree.
Unless you're going to cheat.
No. You can have love with the person that has your back.
You can, but...
No, hold on. Hear me out. Just like back in the old times, right? You didn't choose your mate. Your mate was chosen for you to have your back. You learned to love that person because they had your back. They had your back before they had your heart.
No, who's gonna do that nowadays, man?
What you mean, who gonna do that nowadays? Don't be afraid of what you haven't tried.
You're not just gonna.
I'm just saying.
Unless it's for the material.
Okay, think about it. You have a woman, or a male for that instance, that when they say, hey, I'm dating, that means that I'm dating multiple people. I'm not just going to put all my eggs in one basket. They're seeing who could have their back the best versus choosing love first. Because the only thing that they're doing is sorting out the good eggs from the bad eggs.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at that point, once they make that decision, they made the decision and the determination by what they have saw and what that person has did for them, showing them that they have their back. So at this point, now I'm going to make the decision to just be with you. And hopefully you fall in line to make that decision with me.
Okay.
Now, if that doesn't pan out, hey, you learn from what happened.
Okay.
You don't take it as a loss, you take it as a lesson. Because as long as you're living, you have to evolve. See, what happens with a lot of people is they get stuck with the hurt and they can't move on.
Okay.
So now you stuck.
Right.
And you have someone else that just presented themselves, but you can't take advantage of what's in front of you because you're still stuck with what happened to you.
Yeah. Watch this. We have said on numerous occasions in this show that love is not enough. And we've said it over and over and over and over. And what that really says is that if we chose the route of having a heart-based relationship, having love versus somebody who have my back, over time, that love is just not going to be enough to keep you there, because you're going to want somebody who's fired up about life. You're going to want somebody who's like-minded. You're going to want somebody who can read a book and have a conversation with you, or when you watch the movie, you have great takeaways, and somebody who talks to you, and somebody who's, honest and having. Love is just not enough. And
Tina said it the best. What love got to do with it? I'm just saying.
My mother said that many years ago to me. What's love got to do with it? She said, find somebody who could be your friend. And she said, that's the person who's going to take you the long haul. And then potentially that friendship might lead into love. But it's hard to marry somebody who you just see as a friend. We're going to talk about that when we get back.
segment that I got to tell you. That was different. Okay,
That was a good segment, man. That was a great segment, actually.
I would
Who want
agree.
to come that way? I get him. I got it. Okay.
Good. I
Now,
didn't say
down,
nothing.
man. Nah. You woke up. I like that.
I was just listening to what you said.
And I like that. And
That's all I did.
One of the key things to relationships, and I like to say communication, is listening.
Yeah, true.
Key point. So one of the things that to make things enhance and better is listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I ain't
And,
mean to
and
switch you up.
if you heard me,
Yes, I did.
yeah, if you heard me correctly at the end of the last segment, I suggested that it's very difficult if you decide that somebody having your back is what you like, what's going to be your pick over love. That means you're going to be marrying kind of a friend. And why would you just marry a great friend? Because you're getting pressure from her, perhaps? Or is that something you would want to do? You just want to marry somebody who, you know what I'm saying, that
That's
got your back,
I hate to say
you know,
this,
manage your checkbook?
it's a great foundation to build on.
Exactly.
It
If
would
you
be.
don't have
But
a
who gonna get
friendship,
married like that, Jay?
just saying, who want to get married to a person that I'm not
Listen.
close to?
Here's the person who would get married to that. Somebody who's running out of time. Running out of time.
Everybody
you
is
get,
running out of time.
No,
We're
but
running
young-
out of time every single day.
yeah, but young people don't know that. I'm talking about grown folks who be like, you know what?
They down before us.
I'm 40, I'm 50 years old, I ain't got married yet. You know what I'm saying? He got his stuff together. He ain't that pretty. You know what I'm saying? He ain't nothing to look at, but he sure take care of a household. Let me go ahead and marry him up and have somebody to live with, get a retirement plan and, some health and life insurance with, So there are people who make those decisions
That
every
sound
day.
like a benefit.
You looking puzzled, but that's the decision that's being made a lot of times for folks who are grown, 30, for 45, 50, and not married, maybe divorced early in life and never remarried. They might make some of those kinds of choices. That hey, I'm not necessarily in love with him, but he could be a great friend, and we can probably have a great life together. And to some degree, that's settling. To some degree, that's realizing that time is maybe against you, and that I need to go ahead and make some settled decisions. I need to be okay with a little settling if I'm going to get a little more stability out of my life. I know you cats aren't feeling this program right here. Because see,
I'm just listening to what you're saying. I ain't saying a word. I'm just listening.
I'm just gonna
all
tell
I'm doing is reflecting back to you what you gave to me.
Well,
I'm just listening. I
And you
believe
say
in
you
friends.
choose have your back, so that's going to be what you're getting out of the equation.
Well, again, you got to remember, a person that got your back is a person also that's pushing you, a person that understands you, that sees some things in you. So I married a person that was a friend to me. We dated for a long time, and then I went back and I chose a person that I can relate to, that I will want to see myself long term with. I didn't see marriage when I was first involved with her.
You didn't see love.
I wasn't looking for no love. I had kids, and that made me
That's a
realize.
game changer, man.
Oh, it's a huge game changer.
I know.
Game
That,
changer.
that make up your mind right there.
No, they didn't make, no, that's a lie.
That's half.
Not my
half.
bad children. They
It's-
came out.
It would
hiding.
probably be easy to make the decision to marry your baby's mama if as long as she was cool, as
The
long as
mother
he was,
of your
was
child,
cool.
not your
whatever.
baby's mother.
You what?
The mother of your child,
The mother
not
of
the
your
baby mama.
I picked
the
a
mother of your
person.
child. Okay, what you
Because
Because
that's so
I had
that's semantics.
I was,
No,
I was
it's
back
derogatory.
home. I was back
you don't think
home
about it.
in Ohio, so I had a couple of them. I had like 3 mothers. So I had to choose between the 3.
And you chose between the 3. This is great, Jay. So you chose between the 3 women,
Mhm.
and just give us a little thought process about how you made your choice.
Well, first of all,
Go ahead and snitch on yourself, Jay.
come on.
It was difficult.
It was difficult.
Any one you choose, the other one's gonna be mad.
Snitch.
Okay.
Okay, that ain't no sneak. That's just the reality. That's real. Everybody know
No,
that.
you
Come on, let him finish
snitching
it.
on yourself.
Well, I
Go
have
ahead.
to. I gotta tell it.
3.
So,
Okay. So 3. It was
so
difficult.
if you're really gonna choose somebody, I'm gonna choose the person that I got along with the best,
That's how you chose.
because I had kids by all 3 of them. So I got to pick, and whatever one you pick, believe me, that person got to ride with you with the rest of them, because I still got to take care of my responsibility.
Absolutely.
So that doesn't change. But I got several of them acting like just theirs and don't worry about the rest. Okay, that's gonna be a problem.
That's gonna be a
Okay.
problem. Yeah.
But I'm in a friendship mode with them, so they're showing me more about them than anything else because we're not in the marriage mode, okay? And I wasn't pushing for marriage at that time. I'm trying to take care of the responsibilities that I made. So as I'm looking at the situations as I'm dealing with them, it made me feel comfortable to say, hey, this one right here seemed to be more comfortable with the whole situation compared to anybody else. If I got to ride with somebody and I don't make a choice, this person right here seemed like it would be a best choice for me. Now, that's just not just marriage. It's just a person I'm going to ride with, okay? Because she already showed she had my back. She already made sure I was doing things for the kids.
This person you're not going to marry, you're just going to ride with.
Well, I said ride with. At that time, I wasn't looking for marriage.
Okay. So how did you
my
make the
mindset
decision
was,
to marry?
my mindset came later that, you know something, she rode with me and we did so much together.
Okay.
I got to a point where it was already brought up about it, but it actually fitted me because I felt that this person did so much for me that I can see us doing this. Before, I just wasn't with it. I was like, yo, I'm just going to live my best life like this. And then I changed my mind when I noticed this person had me and I already had kids, so it wasn't going to change anything that was already done.
So let me ask you this.
I just wanted something better.
And I don't want you to put too much out on the front row, right? It's just an interesting question. So
Yeah.
when you married your wife, were you like head over heels in love with her?
Oh, hell no. I mean, no. I mean,
I wasn't gonna put you. See, you put yourself under the bus.
I told you you were going to snitch on
That's
yourself.
good.
she'll tell you all day long.
That's good.
I love her to this very day. I'm not going to ever sit here and put her down. That's not me. I would just say at that time, I was wilding out in me. So, no, there's no need to be acting funny now. Probably why I'm divorced now. I got too much into me. So, ain't no need to be playing around. I only tell you is she showed me a backbone when sometime I didn't have one. And that's what encouraged me to be a stronger me. But that's something that I won't say that anybody else will ever say. Most people are scared, to be honest. Well, I was out there running and doing things that she helped give me the strength to realize that I need to stop some things, to look at family, to look at things differently. So she was a strength to a back that I should have had.
Yeah.
That should have been in my focus. It should have been the first thing I should have been thinking about. But sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
So I got to be real. That's what
Watch
made me
this.
sit back and say, hey,
Yeah. And
out of
listen,
all, this one right here is showing me some things. Hey, let me go ahead, and if I'm gonna make a move, let me make a move this way.
Yeah.
And that's what swayed me, things of that nature. But again,
Yeah.
she was behind me.
And let me tell
pushing.
you what's so profound about this conversation is that one of the greatest challenges we face in families is divorce rates. And those divorce rates oftentimes happen because people are making the wrong kinds of decisions to get married. And what you just got to talking about, Jay, you were talking about all the things that equal up to how do you pick a mate. And nobody's ever taught a class on how you pick a mate, how you pick a husband or a wife. That's what makes this conversation so rich because, you do have to sit back from the scenario and say, hey, what is best for me? Right? Somebody who has your heart and perhaps you're doing dumb shit for them because you love them, that may not be in your best interest. And, especially for those of you who have, extreme habitual behaviors where, you just come under the direction of a man and he tell you to do X, Y, and Z and you submit to him. And, we've seen a lot of women who are underneath men's coattails, so to speak, their girlfriends, wives, or whatever. And that's just not the best way to live a life. And so we got to begin choosing better mates. We got to begin choosing team players for our lives. And team players does not always mean love. In love. It doesn't mean always in love. It does mean love. I wouldn't imagine you would marry somebody unless you loved them. And so I care deeply for this person. I'm not head over heels for them. I'm not clicking my heels 3 times, and wanting to kiss the frog, all that other shit. But they make sense for my life.
The man never chooses anyway.
The man never chooses, huh?
No.
The woman chooses.
Exactly. We offer. She has to say yes.
Okay. Anything to say about that, Jay?
Oh, no, you dead on.
Okay.
It's one of the things we do, we hunt.
Exactly.
But she has to accept.
Yeah.
And that acceptance is what leads you down that path. Because if she don't accept, you still just hunt.
That's all you
So
do.
it's just reality and it's truth that most people just don't speak.
Right.
So yes, it's a reality check.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you.
But
it's
isn't
one
there
that's it.
isn't there a way to sway her into liking you a little bit? If you got some swag, if you got some game, if
You
got a
can
little
sway all
personality,
you want,
you got
but
a
at
little
the end of
personality.
the day, the woman makes the choice.
Yeah, but how she makes her choice is going to be how she experiences you.
You can wine, you can dine, you can pay for rooms, you can pay rent, you can pay mortgages, you can do everything that you want. But at the end of the day, the woman chooses.
And it's
You don't.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Woman
I don't agree with that either, boo.
No, they don't.
I don't agree with that
No, they
either.
How you
don't.
figure that? She
Because
has
I
to
got
accept
plenty of
it.
women that
No.
chase me all the time, and I
yeah,
choose not to.
Yeah,
And I
but the thing,
choose
but
not
the
to.
thing
Chase
is,
men
if,
all the time.
but booby,
And
if you
we
put
gotta
it out
choose.
there, she has to make the choice to accept.
Nah, booby, don't listen. Listen. She's
She
not.
has to make the
she-
choice to accept.
Listen, but
Just-
what when
how
she
you- that's
in
why
any
you have so
relationship-
many women that have been proposed to, and they've said no. A lot of women have been proposed to, and they've said no.
because they were probably getting lots of.
Well, in my situation, I've been proposed to, and I said no. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay,
They- listen,
and
those
there's
women-
nothing wrong with that.
Those women who were proposed to and said no probably had been receiving lots of benefits from that person. They probably had their back, right? The guys probably had their back, but they were thinking that they wanted to marry for love, right? Does
But
that
I
make
mean,
sense?
that's what most women want to marry
Right.
for. I mean,
Yeah,
because
they wanna
they're
marry for
sold the
love.
dream in the
Yeah,
beginning.
That's the point I wanted to make.
They're
Right.
sold the dream. We're not sold the dream.
Yeah. I'm
We
sold
not-
the
We
dream.
gotta make the dream.
Yeah, we not
Damn.
sold the
We
dream.
gotta make
I'm
the
sold the
dream.
dream.
No, no.
I
The
bought-
woman is sold the dream.
I bought the dream.
That's where you get the pressure from. You don't get the pressure from the man. You get the pressure from the woman.
Yeah, she gonna appreciate to that commitment. There ain't no lie about that. That's yeah.
I don't
That's
know
for
too
sure.
many males that I know that are like, man, you know something? I want to get married. I ain't never had. I'm 44 years old, and I've never hung out with a group of dudes
Yeah.
that done said, you know something? Whew, man, I'm 35, 36. Yeah, I think I'm about ready to settle down.
Yeah, I never heard it either. Bro. I never heard it either.
I'm still waiting to hear that
Yeah,
conversation.
listen, we do get influenced and something we talk to. Hey, listen, I know a fellow one time. I knew a fellow one time, and he was dating this lady, right? They were dating for a long time, and they kind of moved in together. And next thing you know, he needed some teeth work, right? Something happened to one of his teeth, and it hurt him, and so the rule states that if you get
Benefits.
married.
You get my benefit.
So he got married so he could get his teeth fixed.
He got married because he had benefits that would have his back.
That would have his back.
It wasn't nothing about love. It wasn't nothing about his heart.
Listen,
It was about their
I wasn't gonna
benefits.
bring that up.
It was about their backbone.
I'ma tell you one thing.
That's a good friend.
You marry me, you can get that
That's a good friend.
benefit. You won't be hurting every day.
Hey,
You know your mouth jacked up.
listen, one thing for damn sure, love ain't gonna fix them dentures.
That gingivitis either. Halitosis and hell. Yeah,
So-
you need a good friend to help him out. Help you out.
Yeah. We have to weigh our battles. We have to weigh our battles. But you know what? Just like Jay did,
What's that?
that I think he liked her a lot. He loved her, but he might not be in love.
chose someone that had his back versus his heart.
So I don't
Benefits
know.
got my back.
Listen, who chose?
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to figure out who chose in that situation.
I mean,
His pain did.
she made an offer that he couldn't refuse.
Exactly.
that's good. That's kind of like a business.
That's
relationship.
right. She said, you hurting. I'm going to get what I want. I got benefits. You don't. You in pain. I'm not. And if you do this, you can use my benefits.
Hey,
If not, I don't know how you going to chew.
effective as soon as you
So-
get married.
Exactly.
So she bought him.
I can't say she bought him, but he definitely got
He
a
chose the one that had his back.
He chose the one he had his back.
And-
Okay.
and
he
fixed
chose
his
the one-
mouth.
Okay. Okay.
at minimum
Hey.
cost.
I never
Minimum
thought a
cost.
couple of teeth would charge you a lifetime. God damn.
I tell you.
And he took on kids.
He already
Hey,
know it.
I called him what?
He not in no more.
I called him what?
Yeah.
I called him
That's
what
a
else?
double negative. He not in
No
no
more
more
pain.
pain.
He can deal with him now. He better dealing with him in a mouthful of saltness.
He not in any more tooth pain.
Man,
That's for sure.
A toothache can bring you to your knees.
A toothache can really
Yeah.
hurt. But boy, I tell you what, I found a few more alternatives than to get married.
I'm just
I mean,
saying.
good.
you better find a good
That's
job. Yeah, obviously he was happy where he was at with no benefit, and he got benefit, and he's still happy. So again, you got to understand that friendship is
That's
still
funny,
a key
man.
base.
Yeah.
I will always say, you always want to have a base to anything that you do. I don't feel like a time factor should stop a friendship. Because one of the things I can tell you, if something was to end, if you have no base, you have nothing.
True.
There's a lot of people I've met without some kind of friendship, there's nothing. I don't like wasting my time meeting people and just realizing it's for nothing. Everybody ain't gonna support you and everybody ain't gonna believe in you.
Right.
But one of the things you want is some people to understand you.
Mm-hmm.
Why waste your time with people that won't?
Right.
That makes no sense.
Right.
So you gotta know the best you, and you gotta be able to carry
There
you.
you go. There you
And that's
go.
why you want somebody to push you, but you also gotta have enough back of yourself to carry you.
There you go. And you folks stay with us. I love this dialogue. Just a lot of clarity coming through for me. I really, really appreciate this dialogue. And I hope you folks do as well. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Again, one of the things I want to tell you about Bar Talk with Jay, we are bringing up a conversation that I hope you guys realize is just an opinion of ours, but we're trying to get you to have that sidebar to realize where you might be with this. This is one of them touchy situations that a lot of times people don't even want to talk about. When I put this out there, I got a lot of different people calling me, and they had their own views to it. My whole thing is get out of your feelings and realize this is conversations that gotta happen.
Yeah.
And that's why I appreciate y'all for doing this, because again, without a great conversation and a dialogue, nobody else is going to look at this as in how is it going to affect them.
Right.
So,
Right. Now, thus far, we have been talking about, in essence, how to pick a mate. So, folks, tonight's topic is, what do you do when one woman has your heart and the other has your back?
okay, well,
And we've basically taken the conversation toward the single world, how to choose a mate. I think we spent a lot of time about that, and that's really important. But there are folks who are living on the other side of this equation, and they are a couple in a marriage, in a relationship, and that they might be stepping out a little bit, and so there's two people. There's a husband and there's your boyfriend.
what?
There's a
What?
there's your wife,
I mean, we
And
in
then there's
ATL, but
and then there's your side chick.
okay, well,
I don't believe in labeling people like that. That's just wrong.
But that's cheating, though, right? Right? If you
Cheating
let me
already
see,
wrong.
let me see. When one,
I
woman,
would-
one woman has your heart, but the other one has your back. What, that's the wife that has your back? The wife has your back. You're not in love with
the
her,
wife
right?
could do both.
She could do, but
However, if you want to put it as two different women, I would much prefer relationship assistant. I like the sound of that. I like relationship assistant.
What the hell is that? Can you give me clarity?
Well, if you want to say, if you want to make it seem like it's two women, instead of saying a side chick,
Right.
listen to how side chick sounds. Side chick, a side dude.
Say it in the mic.
direct.
How about relationship assistant? Doesn't that sound better?
What do it? Do the sound matter?
Yeah, it sounds better. I like the way
it matter?
I like the way that sounds.
Because it sound. How about her
just sound.
performance? What about what she
It
do?
just sounds
You
good.
kind of crooked, but you don't want to sound crooked.
Yeah, it sound good to me.
So you want to
But
make
that-
up a
the
sound?
side chick.
But that is if you want to say that you're dealing with two people.
Okay.
Because that one woman, the one you're married to, or either the one you're in a relationship, could have your back and could have your heart.
Right.
Could possibly. You would
The
hope so.
reason, and it doesn't have to be two people, two women. It could just be one woman that has your back and has your heart. The reason that it's easier to separate the two. But if you combine both to one person, then you see the reality of what happens when you have one person that has your back and one person that has your heart. That's why the divorce rate is where it is right now today. Because at some point in time, either one or both things swayed. Either
Right.
you realize that this person doesn't have your back, or either you realize that I can't let this person have my heart.
Excellent point.
I'm just saying.
Excellent point. And that could be the two dominant reasons of why people cheat. Right?
So we found the
One-
gene. We found the gene, y'all. We found it.
That could be
The cheating gene.
why they cheat, right?
Why we cheat? That's what. Phil. What's another
Well,
one?
I like that explanation.
I think a lot of people cheat because of the opportunity.
Not because the opportunity, not necessarily
Because
gain
of the
benefit.
opportunity.
Okay.
Okay.
I think a lot of people cheat because of the opportunity, because it's not like you can't have a conversation with your mate and change whatever you need to change.
Right? So you just start over with somebody.
Well, you don't have to start over with somebody else. It is what it is. It's just like dating. I'm dating.
So
But I'm married.
you going, man?
All over the place. That's what he
No,
doing.
I'm trying to follow your point. Keep talking. Go
You
ahead.
realize what your role is. You're a relationship assistant.
Okay.
Nothing more, nothing less.
So you assisting others.
Exactly. Just like when you dating.
Assistant principal.
Exactly.
He's telling the truth.
That's
Now-
all it is. I mean, because think about it. If you're married,
Mm-hmm.
and this goes for men and for women.
Okay.
All right. From the male standpoint, if you're the king, the only thing that you have to do is have a conversation. Right?
Mhm.
But in order to lead, you have to be an effective listener. And in order to assist, you have to be an effective listener also. Because if I'm speaking to you and I'm delivering what I need you to understand and you don't receive it, then at that point, I try again.
You trying to get the side chick to understand all
No,
this?
no.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I do it again, right? And I try 3 times. Okay, now, if I've tried to give you the same message 3 different ways and it's not received, it's easy to have the opportunity at that point. And then that's why you have so many relationship assistants.
So it's easier for you to assist
So-
somebody else
so-
than to continue
Look-
assisting the one you with.
Now, let me try to make sense of
saying.
it,
Just saying.
because it took us a little while to hear where you was going, right?
That's not what
So-
he's saying.
Yeah.
what it sounds
took
like?
us- so,
No, it's
so
not.
Mm-hmm.
here we go. Let me try, right?
Just not, you're not listening.
I am.
That's why he have a relationship assistant, because she wasn't listening.
And he assisted somebody
That's
else.
right.
I know what I said. You
That's
just
okay.
ain't hearing me.
But listen,
Sit on there and let that marinate.
let's try to stay on topic here a little bit.
We got it.
All right. What he's saying is that the cheating really is not about the heart or the being backed.
Mhm.
The cheating is about the opportunity. But the opportunity is more desirable when I'm missing one of the two
That's not true.
in my camp.
That's not true. That's not.
Okay, don't argue against your own point. Now.
No, I'm not arguing against my point because in life, every person you married, you in a relationship,
Yeah.
it doesn't make a difference. It's always going to be somebody out there that looks better than you, that makes more money than you on both sides of the coin. So the opportunity is always out there for either person.
Okay.
It's just if you choose to take the opportunity.
And if you, that's my
Choice.
point. That's my whole point. I just said, if you choose to take the opportunity, it's probably because you don't have love in your house, or somebody doesn't have your back. The option is so much more. I have so much more interest in that option because I'm not getting fulfilled in my household. Does that make sense, Bart? Right?
You still can have the back and the love in your household.
And you still want choice? That's a
You
little
still
greedy.
could have the opportunity. Because the opportunity, as long as you get up and you go
So-
out and walk every
and
day
listen.
in the world, the opportunity is there.
Okay, we already know that, right? Anybody can go and have sex anywhere. The people who choose to go outside of their house, we're talking about why people cheat. Why people cheat is not going to be because what you're suggesting is not because they have love, so they can have love in their house and they can have somebody who have their back in their house and they still take advantage of the option. That's scary. That's
life.
scary. It's scary to know that I can be fulfilling my vows. I can be in love with my husband or wife. I can have their back. They can have my back, whatever, and they still go cheat. Well, what's the point?
That's reality.
No, that's not reality.
Yes, it is.
No,
why,
no, no.
Why
no.
do you think
Listen.
the divorce rate is where it is today?
Listen, we're not going to talk about the sickness of mankind, the people's greed and need to just get lust and all that.
Mankind is sick.
Stop
anyway.
arguing with me,
I'm
man.
not arguing with you.
I'm trying to make a point.
I'm
You
making a
keeping us
point
stuck
as
right
well.
here.
No, we're not stuck. We're moving because we
We're
have
not.
exposure, and
No.
in order to
Okay,
move, you
okay.
have to have exposure.
Okay.
You have to listen. You have to understand. You have to tolerate, and you have to accept. Because the only way that you can move forward is you have to be able to be
So
open
let me make my
to
point.
endure what someone is telling
Here's
you.
my point. My point is that it seems like people are going out cheating because one of these two is not satisfied in their household, right? I used to have love. I married him because I was in love with him, and now I'm not in love with him anymore. Or that I used to think this dude had my back. I was in love with him, right? And I used to think he had my back, but now he ain't got my back no more. So now it makes the option easy to go and cheat and to go outside of your house and to do this, that, or the other. People only do things for two reasons: to gain a benefit or avoid a loss. And so the people who are reaching for cheat relationships are perhaps deprived of something in their own household, or they're perhaps very selfish and just decide that they want to take advantage of this opportunity, this lust-filled opportunity, and go out and do their thing, right? So what that suggests is that for some people, you can have everything, right? The question is, what do you do when one woman has your heart and the other has your back? That seems to divide you between two women, but I can have a woman who loves me and I can have, she can have my back and I still go outside of my house. It just doesn't make righteous sense to me, okay? Yeah, people are doing it and we don't really know why they're doing it other than, the seven deadly sins, greed, lust, et cetera, et cetera. But
TV,
if you're in a relationship,
music.
you should recognize. I guess we'll move on to a couple of points here. You should recognize that, especially in marriage, that if you cheat and you get caught, that you're going to lose both the heart and you're going to lose them having your back. Now, you might have a situation, but if you go outside of your house, if you make the decision to do something outside of having love for your wife and her having your back, or she has love for you and have your back, and you go outside of this, you're going to potentially damage any of that you might have in your home. And I'm just trying to keep the conversation moving, especially, I guess it's now time to even address those people who decide they're going to be greedy, who are going to give in
People
to
cheat
lust.
because of what?
You tell me.
No, the
No,
statement
please.
that you made.
No,
No.
just tell me.
I'm trying.
I don't
to,
remember it. Just tell me.
You don't remember. You
You're
said it.
telling him to move on. Go ahead.
You said people cheat because of one or two reasons.
Okay.
Right.
Gain the benefit or avoid the loss. Yeah.
That's an oxymoron.
Been selling for 30 years. You know, the only reason you're gonna do something, man, is
That's
to
an
keep from
oxymoron.
risk or to get promoted big time.
That's an oxymoron, though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
No, it's
is.
not. It's choice.
No,
They're not
listen.
crossing paths. It's one or the other. I'm gonna do this because if I don't do it, I'm gonna go to jail. If I do this, then I'm gonna gain lots of money. People only do things for two reasons. Period. I'm gonna get married to this person because hey, this is the best choice I got right now. He might not be everything, but I'm gonna do it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and make the choice because you know I don't want to risk the fact that I might not meet another great person like this again in the next 30 years. There's a benefit. There's an equal benefit to the choices that they make. Any person.
So we're talking about in general because we can't be talking about cheating because or being with someone that you both have decided to be in a committed relationship with because that's an oxymoron because if you decide to step out, you're doing both.
You doing what? Both what?
You're gaining and losing all at the same time,
Yeah.
which is an oxymoron.
Well, no. The losing, the losing is a consequence.
No,
It's an effect of the choice.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, because you're losing. If
But
okay,
they did it to gain the benefit. They did it because she was a dime piece, and she let him in, and he went ahead and did it. That was his benefit, right? There's going to be lots of loss to what he did, but he did it for that. It made him feel good. That made him feel like he still had it. That made he could. He did it for a
You're
reason.
still losing a part of yourself if you make that choice.
There's a consequence, absolutely, to every
It's
choice.
an oxymoron.
No, it's
to
not.
me.
No, it's not. It's not an
I said to
oxymoron.
me.
Oxymorons happen at the same time. This is cause and effect.
How do you figure that if you choose
this is cause
to
and
cheat,
effect.
that you don't lose and gain at the same time?
We're not talking about.
If
We're not
you're married,
Listen,
that's why I said it's
the
oxymoron
person.
to me.
Listen.
I said to me. That's not to you. I said to me.
I mean, he has a point as in he feels that his gain and his loss is all in one. That's why he says to him, because again, it happens immediately when he makes that decision. You can't take that away from him because that's his decision. But my whole thing is, are we asking people about that decision they make?
Okay, because prime example. The reason that I say it's an oxymoron. You gain a piece of enjoyment for an hour, 2 hours, but you lose that fulfillment from your family for that hour and 2 hours. To me, it's an oxymoron.
Well, hold on. You mean for your 3 minutes? 3 minutes.
You still on it, right?
No, I'm just saying. But I wasn't talking about me. That's why I said 2 to 3 hours. Yeah. Now you got 3 minutes. Yeah, you go. And you don't lie. I got the shirt
Right.
to prove it. I wear
you
it.
gotta know it.
Right. So your whole cheating don't last long. So you should be forgiven. You should be forgiven. Bill said if you only go 3 minutes, you can't even blame me.
I'm just saying.
That ain't even a scene.
All right. So
So it can't be.
Yeah.
Not 3 minutes.
it's time for us to take another break. I
You
wanted
forgot
to
to
say
overlook
some
that
more.
one.
I'm gonna let that go. I'll let that go.
I'm just saying.
So I want y'all to hold on. We're gonna come back up. We're gonna talk to James. Yeah, well,
Some interesting thoughts.
yeah, some interesting thoughts. Some
Definitely
interesting
some
thoughts.
interesting
And,
thoughts. I can't take that away from him. Appreciate it because again, we always want to make sure everybody have a different point of view. Because again, his view might be something that you definitely agree with. My whole thing is to get you the conversation, to have something going on, or after the show is over. That's my biggest dream. To be a great influence. Oh, you still over there calling now? You know, Corona.
No, man, party.
I know you party like a rock star.
rock star, James.
We're gonna hear about that on Sidebar.
When I say rock
You
star,
did that.
on the stage, bro. I'm just
I had
saying,
moments like that
dancing
too.
in front of the whole crowd. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was fabulous. It was fabulous.
I remember them days.
So let's get down to business.
All right.
What do you do when one woman has your heart and the other has your back?
I can tell you I'm gonna go from two different standpoints.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go from a standpoint of right now, like I'm single. So for one person to have my heart and one person to have my back, the only thing I can tell you, you got to be very honest with people. Because for somebody to have your heart and for somebody to have your back, and they don't honestly know where you at, and they don't really believe that you're the person that you are, it's going to cause a lot of compromise. It's going to cause a lot of problems. But the lies is going to cause you to lose it all. My whole thing is
be honest with yourself. Is
well,
what you're saying.
being honest with yourself strengthens you. Okay, it ain't helping the situation because they don't care to hear that. They ain't gonna hear the honesty. There's somebody else. No, I promise you, that's not.
So should you even address it, or should
I'm
you
gonna
just
tell
change
you
the
all day
situation?
long. You can't change that situation because you can't change somebody else's perception of how they look at you and what they want. No, you got to be a strong you because they're gonna try to sway you. A person that has your back is gonna sway you for your heart, and the person that got your heart is gonna try to push the person that got your back off because they want it all.
Yeah. They gonna
So,
sway you to have their back.
If you are not being honest with them, I promise you, it's gonna be a whole line of deceit. That whole thing ain't nothing but player, destroy.
Great. point
Because
to make.
somebody is gonna want to be on top of the other person or the other person. It becomes a battle. The one thing I can tell you is when you don't lie to a person and you tell them this is where I'm at, and if somebody assumes the position of having your back and another person assumes the position of having your heart, there's nothing wrong with it because that is a friendship still battle. And it is not always meant to hurt because these two people still seeing great things in you. My whole thing is you gotta let greatness be great. You gotta not use it to hurt. A lot of times people just use this as manipulation. Forget the manipulation and understand you. Because a person that really feel like they got your heart, 9 times out of 10, they ain't really trying to destroy you. They really just trying to love up on you. That's why they want your heart. And then the person that got your back want the same thing. They got your back because they know they ain't got your heart. But I want you to know I'm here for you. All these things are great things. And one of the things I'll tell you as a person that's going through life is I evaluate it as it goes on. And then I make a decision later. They might get impatient and give up and go somewhere else. But my whole thing is I never took nothing from you. If you had my back, understand I'm a strong person anyway. You just supported a person that's going somewhere. So I ain't gonna forget you either. So even if we go this other way, that's why that friendship meant something. Because if that person get married, I can still support that person. I can see that person I can get there. So I will be at their wedding. I had people that had my back that got engaged after they've been with me. I didn't commit to them. So what am I to do? But watch them be happy. It ain't the easiest thing to do, but one thing I'm not for everybody.
Yeah, and I think the greatest point you made there was being honest with yourself.
And
right?
it ain't easy. And it ain't, I'm telling you, you will get cussed out no different than lying.
And being honest with yourself is about really asking yourself, why am I marrying this person? Why am I with this person? Right?
Hold on, not just married.
Am I with this person because I really love them, or am I with them?
On the single side. So not just married. It's just why am I going to get married real quick and get in that situation
With this person.
Yeah, when I already know I'm still healing, I'm still going through things, and my whole thing is get yourself aligned correctly. And a lot of times you just want to get things because that's what you want. And these people showing you that they care for you, they got your heart. This one behind you got your back. You feeling you're on top of the world. You still ain't even healed. Don't just do stuff because it's good. How about ask for understanding? That's the best time to pray. Because you got a lot of things going on and you don't even know where you're going. And that's why I stay single now. I have to get prayed up. God has to show me where to go instead of me feeling like I got the best of all worlds.
So even if a woman has your heart and a woman has your back, you don't feel like that's enough
No.
to marry her now?
Either or. I don't have to marry either or. because this is a part of me to make a decision.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I have to ask them. They have to accept. But I don't have to ask. And just running to ask is this misleading. Why am I going and asking and that's not where I'm at? Because this person showed me they got my heart. Okay. This person got your back. Okay. I still had purpose.
So-
The reason they did this in the first place is they seen in me. Believe me, you believe in a person because you see something in a person. Most women want a man because they see something in a man. I see something besides the sexual act. Besides, like Phil said, the 3 minutes. It's past the 3 minutes. I see a drive. I see a purpose. I see a future. Why in the world would I have a person's back and I don't see nothing in them? I don't see me supporting somebody that I don't see going no damn where. But again, we vote for people all the time that don't do nothing for us. But again, each his own. But do you even vote? Some people don't even do anything and expect the best. That's why I get mad about things that goes on in politics and everything else. Because you talk and don't do nothing. So in your relationship, do something. You are a huge factor. So quit sitting around talking about everything else and you don't even do nothing in your own home. You ain't making no decision. And then you wonder why the world is the way it is. Because they want you to be relaxed. How can you be comfortable in these day and times? I got somebody talking about the coronavirus. Everybody want to buy a mask. But last time I heard 30 million people got AIDS. You ain't covering up your stuff, but you'll cover up your face. Makes no sense to me. It makes no, if somebody cough, you scared. But you'll go jumping into something you don't even know. Makes no sense. Look at the facts. You hear about a small scare and all of a sudden you're scared. Facts is there's something that's more scarier that you ain't worried about. They got drugs now that ain't curing. It just makes it a little longer. What? Facts. But you want to still talk this other way. That's just because you want to get comfortable. When you don't need to be comfortable, make better decisions. Live your life according to what you really believe compared to what you hear. I'm telling you, we have told so many lies. I just want you to live happy. A woman in front of you and a woman behind you ain't the best life you want. The best life is understanding you and understanding why they would even be with you. Why would you have a person in the front and the back if you ain't shit? I'm just trying to tell you, they trying to be something with something. And I say when you own up to it, you can be a better person and make a decision. And it can be just one. That's up to you. Me, I am single for the fact that I'm not ready to get back in that arena. When I do, I would like to be with just one. Okay? That is my dream, my goal. Since I messed the first one up.
And the hope is that
Definitely.
The hope is that she has your back and she loves you and you love her.
And she was my friend.
And she was your friend.
Because I know with my last one, I had to salvage that with the friendship that I made before that. And that is a foundation that I know is steady. That helped me, my kids, and everything else. So anything other than time running out and me running too, all I can tell you is I didn't do that.
Let me, and here's another profound point. I think you said it just perfectly, Jay. One way to measure if you're moving in the right direction in a relationship is to ask yourself, are we friends? Can we be friends? You know, we've all had those relationships where we go out, hang out, drink, have a good time, we make great love, the sex is good, But if we were just sitting down having a conversation, we ain't got a lot to talk about. We're not as close friends. We're not even sharing our experiences. We're not sharing our family, Man, that's kind of dry. Right?
That's dry.
Yeah, that's kind of dry. And so ask yourself, are you friends? Are you friends with this person who you potentially are going to entertain in a relationship and potentially marry forever? Because the heart is not enough, and even having your back is not enough. Okay? That's what I think we've come to in this conversation. I said on many of shows we've all determined that love was not enough. And now we're realizing that somebody having your back is not enough. You got to have a great mix of both. And just to turn the corner a little bit, a great mix of both has to start from within. I have to love myself. And I have to have my own back before I can begin to depend on anybody else's love and anybody else having my back. It starts from within. Don't think that just because someone falls in love with you, they want to take care of you. Don't think that because they like you or want to be in a relationship with you that they want to take on all the bills and the responsibilities, or you think they always want to catch you when you fall. They want to always be your rescue, on your rescue squad, right? And don't necessarily think that just because somebody's always willing, to help you with the chores and help you with the things that you got to do in life, pick up the kids, doing this, doing whatever those things are, that they necessarily are in love with you. Because they very well may not be. They could be enjoying all the gifts that you bring to the table.
All the benefits.
Right? You cook, or you take them out all the time. You're clean cut. You can be taken around family and friends, and there's all kinds of reasons why one might choose, right? But neither of the two, the heart nor having your back, is always going to be enough, and that's kind of challenging to think about, because what we really want is a team player and somebody we like.
Well, I will tell you.
And that seems sometimes too much to ask, and you're not going to get all of that from the person who you end up marrying, the person who you end up having a great relationship. You're going to get a piece of one side, and you'll get more than a piece on the other side. And that's where the balance will come in to having a great relationship. Because, you love her to death, but she might never be able to do for you what you do for her. In terms of take care of. And vice versa, She loves you to death, but you may never be able to, take her on a trip to Europe or, buy her a car if a car breaks down, whatever. So there's got to be give and take on both sides.
I agree.
And
but I'll tell you now, I gave you to you from the single side. Now, from the marriage side, it can be straight different, because again, that's the last thing you want. When I married, that's the last thing I wanted, is to have a woman to have my back. Because when I married, I tried to have just that one. Because again, she was my friend, so she already had my back. So this is the person that should have my heart. And when it comes to a point where I allow her to be in a place where I can let somebody else in, it was my own demise. Because again, when I allowed that to happen, and I felt like, well, she ain't listening to me, and I'm allowing somebody else to listen to me, and now I'm allowing somebody else to hold my back. My whole thing is, I've really felt like at that point I gave up on what I had, because that person had me already.
Excuse me.
It felt easier and comfortable to let somebody else do something that this person might be showing lack of, but this person also are dealing with things that we need to deal with.
right.
I allow somebody else to give me strength when I should have allowed that person that I know had me before, but I allow something else to come in. Now, it can be from manipulation, it can be from a lot of different things, and it's not for me to judge anybody for what they do. That's not what I'm talking about.
It's a great
What
point.
I'm just talking about is when you don't deal with what's in front of you, what's behind you will come up on you. And it's so easy for you to start having these associates or these little sidebars of giving information to a person so they can play up on your feelings. Now, they could be doing it for manipulation, they could be doing it for they really want you. I don't know. All I can tell you is it takes you off your game.
Yes.
Your main game and your main focus was in front of you, and all of a sudden now it's on the side of you. And that's where side piece come from. They're taking from what's direct to indirect. It's all on the side. Now, when you get this on the side, you be like, okay, it ain't gonna mean nothing, but yet it's gonna be harmless and it's gonna be this because this person is showing me some interest in this. I'm just trying to tell you, that's the decision that I can tell you before you sway one way, understand what's in front of you. I will tell you a lot of mistakes happen when you lose focus.
When you lose focus.
It's easy for somebody to get distracted because I am arguing a fact that somebody's not listening. she ain't listening because you keep repeating. But your repeating and your non-listening is getting to be a point where you feel like you gotta let somebody else in, or will you really sit down and have a better understanding? Because the understanding is totally gone.
Yeah, and
the disrespect
let's
is
just
gonna
make
come with
let's
that.
just make this point that when there is a lack of understanding in a couple in a married relationship, when there's a lack of understanding, it makes it really easy for one of the two people to go have somebody else to lean on.
If your morals. Remember now, some people are morally would never do it, period.
Yeah, but we know a
we
lot
were
of married people cheat,
Right, but
77%.
again, just because it's a lot don't mean that you're going to say everybody don't have
Not
morals and
everybody.
everybody won't. So that's why I always say, regardless how high that number is, all I can say is decisions need to be held more accountable than just being, okay, because of these numbers and stats. Don't go by the stats, understand yourself. Because you don't have to be in that equation. And that's why we're having this conversation, because we don't want that. I don't want you to feel like because of this argument and what goes on, I have to go do this because that's what everybody else
But
does.
that's the point of contention, Jake.
There
And,
you
and we not gonna change humanity.
We
People get
can't
mad.
change overnight.
People get mad. They get pissed off. They be like, you know
but
what?
that
This
don't mean
person.
they gotta cheat.
I know.
Exactly.
Stop it.
No, seriously.
What side are you rooting on, man?
No, it's decided just because you get mad don't mean that's
I'm
what you
agreeing.
have to
I'm
do.
agreeing with you. The point is that we're trying to tell people, we're trying to help people understand that is what happens. And so, if you are in a scenario where there's extreme misunderstanding in your relationship, in your dialogue, don't create the opportunity for somebody to go lean on somebody else. You gotta pour into your relationship. You got to pour into the fact that she loves you. You got to pour into the fact that she's got your back. Because, yeah, you shouldn't go outside of your relationship. That's the point. You know, you absolutely shouldn't go outside of a relationship. You're not supposed to, but that's what happens. And most of the time, even if you cheated before in your relationship, you remember that you wasn't getting something at home. She felt like she didn't hear you. You felt like she didn't quite understand. And so now it makes it real easy to go out and have that conversation, holler at a new one, you know, in the middle of the day.
I just gotta admit,
you know, get
Crap.
closer to the one who's at work that's been trying to get your attention.
Crap, I gotta be honest.
Oh, God.
I cheated because my ass was she showed me some things. and
No, that's not why you cheated.
Yeah, I did.
No.
When she
You got to cheating before an act happened, and I want to know. I want to know why was that.
I mean, you can ask me why later, but I'm gonna tell you right there why I did it.
No. Before you did it, you made the decision that you was going to do it, and you made the decision for what reason?
Man, when she came in here looking all, let me tell you, partner.
Okay.
She came in and she was like, I know you're going through some things, but right about now, I just want some. Listen, I'd say, hey, she won't know. So
That's how you made the decision.
I
right
made
there.
it off impulse.
She won't know.
I didn't look long term. I didn't look at what I said, what? Okay. Now,
So you
I'm not
throw-
going to tell you that
gonna-
happens with everybody.
You throw all that loyalty and love out the door.
I didn't throw nothing away. I didn't think she was
Because
ever going to find out. I said at that time,
you didn't think she was gonna find out.
you're right. Well, I
But
wasn't
what-
going to tell
So
it.
whether she would find out or not, you wasn't supposed to do it. You wasn't thinking about that.
I was thinking about doing it at that time with her. With her, somebody different.
See, I'm
than what I
trying to
was
get
with.
to why people
I
make those
did.
decisions.
I went because I
Why?
tell you what, we're gonna go to break and we're gonna come back and we're gonna go more into why. At that
I
time,
wanna hear
it was
why.
impulsive and it was Lord.
Yeah. And y'all stay tuned. We're gonna be right back. More going talk with Jay.
All right. Welcome back, Bud Up with Jay. Back in the building talking to my man Craftmatic about the things that's happening today.
Yeah. And so the topic for tonight, what do you do when one woman has your heart and the other one has your back? And we talked about the last segment, couples. And Jay was attempting to explain why he cheated. And he said he cheated because, you know what I'm saying, she put something on him. And I was like, well, you probably started the cheating process before you actually got it. So what caused you to cheat?
Okay.
Was there something going on in your relationship? Did she not have your back, or did she
No.
not have your heart, or
No.
did you not care about either?
I pushed it all aside and I let my ego get the best of me. We was arguing about a lot of different things that was going on in the household. And a lot of them things I felt like she was just out of line. And I felt like, you know, me in my position of being a man, making all this money and doing all these things, that you need to fall in line. So I let my ego get the best of me, and then I had somebody else talking to me. And this is a person that was dressed provocatively, nicely, and she was like, you know, a person like you and you doing all these things, you need somebody that they could just be more understanding. I wouldn't be asking, I wouldn't be saying nothing. I'd just be giving you what you want. And you hearing this and you be like, yeah, that's all cute, whatever. Because I'm still dealing with what I got going on. And then when that person started touching on me and feeling on me, I was like, oh Lord. I like how she was rubbing on me, and I was like, okay, I had that in a minute and a half. So you don't mind that I'm married? No. I mean, like, if something was to happen, it just happened. So I felt vulnerable, like, okay, well, something happened, you ain't saying nothing, then nobody will know nothing, so we can do something. And it didn't really work out that way, but we did it. And again, it didn't help what was going on because the ego went the wrong way, not the right way.
See,
Instead of feeling the guilt and trying to be like a better person there, I became a worse person than I ever wanted to be, okay? Because now when she came to me with that, or feeling like she ain't got to do anything, it's like, oh, you showed on, boo-boo. You showed on. Don't worry about this. All right? Just keep acting like that. No, hey, listen. Don't worry about nothing tonight. I ain't got to be here tonight. It got to be that cold, okay? And that's because I knew I could go somewhere, okay? Instead of me dealing with it before, I ain't got to tolerate this. So now I'm giving up on the person that had me. I ain't tolerating
and let me ask
this
you this.
foolishness.
Let me ask you this. That's rich, Jay. That's
But it's real.
Watch this. If you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
I would have went back and talked to the one that I was with and worked out what we never worked out.
Yes.
I didn't work it out.
Yes.
I settled for something totally different, but
Yes.
wasn't to settle for better my life and be with.
And
I just said I just did something.
He's calling it ego.
It was.
And so let's just say ego forgets value. Let's say that
It's an equation.
ego doesn't pay attention to consequences and repercussions,
Didn't.
right? And so I hope we're going to be helping somebody so you don't get into an egotistical mode in your relationship. Because as soon as you do, you throw away almost everything that you have with that other person. And especially if you got a strong-willed person and they ain't trying to have that scrap. You know what I mean? You could be throwing away a lot. They could turn, their whole back on you and end up in divorce. And the consequences is that if you get caught, you're going to end up in a divorce. And if you've been married long enough, she going to own your ass for about 5 to 7 to 10 years. And so, you didn't really mean what you did. So you got to stop and think and just take a moment and not be egotistically driven. The key is to catch yourself. Right? To not throw away all of that value in a moment of heated lust, etc. And I have seen many men who deny the opportunity. I've seen many men in, parties with friends, and then, married fellas come in, there's strippers everywhere, and there's a few cats who are married, they sit on the sideline. They don't even worry about getting lap dances. They just chill, watch, have a good time. They made up their mind like, I ain't going home with this bitch smelling on me. I ain't going home with some perfume on me or some lipstick on me. I'm chilling. I'm done. They're already made the decision that they're not going to go in ego mode. Meanwhile, I've seen several brothers in the middle of the floor.
That was me.
With their ring shining.
I don't know if it's shining.
Doing a reverse lap dance. And they just did not care. And I would imagine all of those people had some issues going on at home where they weren't getting love, or maybe they didn't feel like the other person had their back. And there's probably even more criteria than
it is.
just being in love and have your back, listening to me, they're not hearing me. They don't side with me and my goals and my dreams. They don't believe in me anymore.
Right.
They don't like me. They talk to me all crazy. They never spend time with me. Da 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 da.
Raph, I'm telling you.
What?
I had one that wasn't looking for no divorce, bro. Mine was I would beat it out of you. It wasn't no, okay, you out there doing that? Oh no, bro. It wasn't no, I'm gonna take, no. We gonna fight. I dealt with a person that was a straight fighter. She wasn't giving up to no one. Okay?
That's good.
I will go to her, I will whoop her behind, and if you look like you even gonna jump in, I will go for you too. That's what I was dealing with.
That's
Straight,
good.
loco, real.
That's good.
So when you do these things, please understand, some people can snap. Please understand what you deal with.
Listen,
I knew she wasn't stable.
the good
but
book-
damn.
the good book says that fear is the beginning of wisdom.
She threw that book at me.
There you
And
go.
along with a couple other things.
You know
You
what I'm
need to realize you gotta watch people snap because of you. When they really believe in you and you do things of this nature, when I tell you, it makes them change their whole character. They ain't playing with you.
They ain't
And
playing
you
with
did it because it was a selfish act that you didn't think it was gonna lead to this.
Right.
It led to a lot of situations that I promise you I did not foresee.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. It came, it got thrown at me, it got done to me. And I ain't gonna say she never broke windows. Listen, if she gonna hurt something, she gonna do it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
She ain't never
listen,
did it no car or nothing.
but
But what
listen.
I can tell you,
well, listen.
I caused a lot of things
As
and
a-
didn't take responsibility for a lot of
Yeah,
things.
and as a
that's
grown-
why it led to
As a grown man, you just might have needed an ass whooping.
Well, I didn't need that one.
But,
Not at that time.
but most women are gonna take the route that this cat just ain't for me. He trying to holler at somebody else. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and turn the corner. Let me call Jacques and see what Jacques might can do for me
And-
tonight or
and
tomorrow,
Crab,
next week.
I would tell
Oh,
you-
you gonna be traveling next week, honey? Oh, okay.
Crap, I can always tell you, yes, they can, but a lot of women that really see into a man ain't even trying to take that position. They ain't even looking at nobody else. They looking at the fact that you are foolish not to be looking at them. And I like to say I was with one of them that I would say now was one of the biggest tragedies is when you don't see what the hell you have. Because when you got somebody ain't even trying to do you, ain't trying to repeat the stupid stuff you do, then you really need to look at you. And when you got somebody that you put through hell and they ain't give you hell back how you did it, it's time for you to look at you.
Time for you to look at
So
you.
when I hear this, I got somebody in front of me that got my heart and somebody behind me got my back, it put me back into a situation that I've been in several different times. And I tell you all day long, watch where you put yourself in position. I play chess, not checkers. I'm not trying to jump on everybody. I'm trying to position myself to be in a winning favor. And if you ain't looking for a favor of what he has for you, I promise you'll be jumping over shit like I did. Don't do me. Do you. Live the best you. My whole thing is this whole show is about understanding what goes on. A person that got your heart, a person that got your back. Sounds cute, sounds good, but it can be very detrimental if you don't understand you.
Yeah, and I would say if you got somebody who loves you and you can see that they got your back, that's the person you need to stay in there with. And traveling outside of your relationship ain't gonna do nothing but leave you wondering if the next person might be the right person. And they could be the person who looks like from the outside that they would have your heart and have your back. And you don't find out till years later that they have neither for you.
Or
So-
stay single.
Yeah.
If you just gotta be with everybody, stay single and be honest.
Stay single.
Stay
and be
single.
honest.
Don't get married.
Yeah.
Don't take on the obligation.
Yeah.
And you don't want the obligation.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Stay single.
Don't do it. And I think that's a great way to wrap up this show. We want to thank you folks for being with us tonight. This has been a fantastic dialogue. I believe a lot of good has come out of this. I'm hoping that you've got some new awarenesses about your relationships and love. and hope that you grew as well. It's been a lot of fun for me.
I snitched a lot tonight. I ain't snitched no
Yeah,
more.
stay with us. We're here every week from 7 to 9, Facebook
yes.
Live. My name is Craftmatics, my boy.
Smooth J, snitching J. I'm gonna snitch on
Snitching
myself so
J.
much, it's snitching.
And with that, folks, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.